G'day folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a bit of a novelty. Up the beach at Teewa and driving down the beach, and I've run into Gavin. Gavin's got a Tommy camper as well. My first encounter with a Tommy camper. Can you believe that? He ended up camping in the same zone as me, so here we are. What we're going to do today is compare the two kitchens, the S6 versus the S4. And I've got to say, they are completely different. I didn't realise just how good the S6 is over the S4. Good as in the amount of things you can fit into it, the amount of space. But anyway, I'll leave Gavin tell you more about that. Introduce Gavin.
Thanks, Brian.
Good to meet you, Gavin. I'm not supposed to shake hands, supposed to touch elbows.
That's it.
There you go. I'll edit that if I have to. If you start complaining, I'll change the video. There you go.
And looking at the kitchen, first thing is my, that comes off, opens, there you go. So I have shore power, should I want it, which powers these sets here. The kitchen itself is quite convenient in that I've got the standard shelves, but I get the extra hub at the top. I fit my road chef in. It's about 3 to 4 mil out on the shelf, so I took the shelf out, put the road chef on, bolted in, then put the shelf back in. It's quite convenient. I'm all electric now, so that's my induction cooktop, my toaster. The shelf is very convenient, folds up with enough room, it holds everything in, so nothing moves around, and high enough to keep my toaster in place and my electrical cooktop in place. Not to mention the pull-out kitchen. And again, the difference between the two models would be, I'd say, about that much extra bench top space in the top. I mentioned earlier about the table, so I'll just quickly show you how that works. Lunch out of the road. It's a matter of just removing the towel holder, flicking two switches, and I've got myself a drop down shelf which locks up, and it's a matter of just reaching in. I've got a full length table which folds out, and to put it back, drops down to place so it won't move when you're travelling. Locks up out of the road. Simply reapply my roll. I'm good to go. The Dometic fridge, is I think it's a 70 litre Dometic. I always get that wrong. 70 litre. I think it's 70 from memory. Great fridge. Does the job well, keeps things cold. All the important things: alcohol, beer, food, freezer space. It holds everything well. It's got a locker mechanism in here, so you stick your wine and your milk and so forth, it won't move around. Place your eggs. And it's got a crisper at the bottom. It's not a large fridge, but it's convenient. The trade-off for me was how much fridge space did I want, and personally I chose that size fridge to give me more storage, but also I have a fridge set up in the back of my seat of the car, so I've got, which runs power off here, so I can power my fridge from here, from the solar on the vehicle. The back seat, which is my fridge, so I've got freezer space in the back seat and fridge space in here for long trips. The electrics is the main board here. Simple off-off mechanism. It's got SIG sockets, USB outlets. It's and all my fuses are transparent here, and I've got a switch there for my pump on the other side for my water tank. Above each, you'll hear up here is the water outlet. It's a simple matter of keying in and reversing out. There's one each side for each tank. It's better sticking your hose in. It's pretty straightforward. And this tap here is for the tank on this side. The tap on the other side is for the tank with the pump. It's got strip lighting above each of the gull wing doors. So I've got both red and white lights. So night lights as well as day lights. It's very convenient, and because of where they're positioned, you're not looking into your face, it's actually behind you, so you can cook with lights on it pretty well easily.
The road chef, did you have any trouble fitting that?
Well, that's an interesting experience. When I first got the road chef and measured it up, I realised the shelves were about a couple of mil. It was so frustrating because I had to take the two shelves out, connect the road chef up, then connect the shelf back in place with the road chef on. So I didn't need to drill new holes. The holes I had in place were perfect, but it didn't have enough access to actually lock down your road chef. So a bit of work involved there, but I needed to fit my dividing shelves anyway. So at the same time I did that, worked out my distances for these little dividers I have in the shelves.
I had exactly the same experience. My road chef I had to change because it died, and I put a kick-ass one in, but they're all the same oven, they're all the same size, and 3 or 4 millimetres, I just couldn't get it in. So I had to undo all the bolts to drop the shelf, put it in. So there you go, Tommy Camper, if you take something away from this video, and I know you guys watch some of the videos, all you need to do is drop that top shelf 3 mil, and the ovens, all of the standard ovens that we buy in Australia today, will fit easily without having to remove the whole shelf. You've got the same as me down here. I've only just got enough space for a 2-burner cooker down the bottom. Obviously you've got a stack of room down the bottom.
Well, I've actually recently gone electric, so I've got a
induction
cooker. So I run a Tefal induction. It's a single spot induction cooker. It runs quite well off the inverter, doesn't blink an eyelid, and doesn't draw too much power. I always thought I'd be hitting a big draw, but I'm only down 1 or 2% when I finish using it for a cook.
So they heat up really quick. I've never used induction cooking. Heat up really quick.
Very fast.
Cooking time's only as long as the sausage takes a burn.
That's it.
I use gas in my kitchen, and I have no problems with the gas. I did think about induction cooking, but to be honest, I was a little bit afraid of just how much power they would use, so I didn't go that way. But having talked to you, who knows, if I have to change, I might change up to induction, because it is definitely so much easier to use induction cooking.
Well, this is my first trip on all electric. I left the gas bottle at home this trip. I thought I'd give it a run and see how I go with electric. So far so good. But I can give you an update in a few months' time. We can review it then, see how it runs.
So that's the Tommy Camper. Oh, we haven't talked about the table. Tell me about the table. What do you like about it?
The convenience of the table. I think it's exactly like yours in that it folds up and locks in. But because of the extra size, it leaves me the space here. I'm at the stage now I'm thinking of cutting a hole in here and putting a similar dish to this in here with a drop lid for my cutlery.
Oh, okay.
So I could just lift it up and pull the cutlery out and put it down again. Because I've got this whole space here. It's a great workbench, so generally when I'm cooking, I'll actually use this part of the workbench for cooking, this part of the workbench for prepping. And because of the significant size of it all, it's very convenient.
Yeah, it is a good size. And the way it's designed, the shelves, the top 2 shelves come out and sit flat and flush with the fridge, so basically runs horizontal with the fridge. And then the back shelf, the bottom shelf, it's stepped in by about probably maybe 4 or 5 inches. What's that in centimetres? 15 centimetres. So it's stepped in. Now the way it's designed, the reason it's designed is this lower bridge here that gives this whole thing support and makes it rigid. When it comes up, it actually folds in and pushes all the way in and stops things from falling out. So the flat part of the table here stops any items that you have on the top 2 shelves from falling out, and this ridge here pushes in and stops the gear on the bottom shelf from falling out. To some degree. It doesn't work perfect. There's little items will escape, especially if you're going over bouncy soft sand, but rarely. So it really is a top design, this kitchen.
The benefit of this kitchen also I find with this shelf is that when it's closing, It does, as you mentioned, everything is secure, but underneath there's enough room with the lip on the table when it folds up that I've got plenty of room to store the cooking bag underneath as well as my toaster and not have to worry about it moving. I'll at times I might put a roll of paper or something in the front of that to stop the toaster moving during travel, but apart from that, it's very convenient. The height is brilliant. It's a good distance from the side of the camper back, so you've got that flexibility when the shelf drops. Rubber stoppers underneath there, support on the shelf, and you've got the height in here to put things in the back shelf as well.
So that's pretty much the kitchen in the S6. It's just like a beefed up version of the S4. Let's have a quick look at the S4. We certainly won't go into the same detail that we've gone into this one, because we'd just be repeating ourselves, but we will show you some differences. Right, the S4. Let me firstly, we've moved the camera and there's a bit of wind coming through, so apologies if there's any wind, and there probably is. S4 exactly the same. You've still got the stepped in here, 2 shelves, or 3 shelves. You only fit the 2 boxes at the top. It doesn't fit 3. There is a little gap there at the end, and that's where I keep my kettle, the electric kettle. Road Chef, 3mm, Tommy, 3mm, that's all you have to do. Drop this shelf 3mm, drop this one 3mm, drop this one 3mm, and you've got exactly the same set of shelves, and the goddamn oven will fit in without having to pull all the shelves out. Fridge, I run a 110 litre Dometic, exactly the same fridge as Gavin's, only it's 110, Gavin's I think 70. Yeah. The 110, it's got a big freezer, lots of shelving, lots of space, but I travel mostly with my wife, so the 2 of us travelling, we travel from anywhere from 4 days up to 9 days generally. Once a year we do a big trip, 3 weeks, and on those big trips you really do like or appreciate the space in a bigger fridge. Apart from that, everything's the same. Space for my burner down the bottom, no space for a toaster, and then I can fit all the breakfast material, all the coffee and tea, everything I need, all the plates, the cups, everything I need for any sort of eating for 2, fit on the shelves. One thing Tommy campers have got absolutely perfect, apart from that shelf being 3mm too high, is the kitchen. Love the kitchen, absolutely love the kitchen. Don't use the sink very often. The way I clean dishes is with a spray bottle, so a bit of detergent, dishwashing liquid in here, fill it with water, and I spray my dishes. Have a little bucket generally that sits in here because it's way easier to clean, and just wash my dishes with my spray bottle and a little bit of water. Rarely do I put water and fill it and do the dishes in the sink. It is a handy thing to have. Quite often I'll sit things in there, especially when I'm cooking, but I don't use it as a sink. Well, I think that's about it.
So you don't have the top shelf above your fridge, do you?
No, that's one thing we haven't talked about. If you go the bigger fridge, 110 litres, you lose the space at the top. So there is a little bit of space at the top, there's a gap, and I keep a tarp in there, a nice big tarp so it can't fall down the back, but you certainly don't have the space for a table. Well, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Gavin, for letting us have a look at your kitchen. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys got something out of it. Hit the like button for me, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.